And it gives me great pleasure to introduce Fan Roundtable, Sussex by the Sea podcast, episode 149. We're into the 6th year of this podcast, and it goes from strength to strength, doesn't it, boys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, too right.
Every time, mate.
Yes, the millions. That's what Rock was singing about. The millions and millions of the Sussex by the Seas fans. No, it's great to see you again, lads. It's been a mixed bag of results for all of the teams that we all support. First of all, a big hello to Mark, the Sittingbourne fanatic. Sir, how are you this evening?
Yeah, doing great, mate. I was thinking the same thing as you come on. I was wondering who was going to be on tonight, looking at the results. And apart from Wales, we all didn't do too well, apart from Horsham, obviously. They got a great result at Worthing. But I did have a smile to myself that we'd all have
Oh, well,
a bit
Rob from
upset
Folkestone.
today.
Yeah, Rob from
Yeah,
Folkestone.
Folkestone as well.
He's been unavailable, funnily enough.
Oh, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
It's
become
all
unavailable.
since he went on that, it's too easy. You know, it's getting a
Yeah.
bit boring. Rant. Since then, I think
He made that classic error that we can't make as fans. Obviously love Rob to death, but yeah, spoke too loudly, and that wobble is still on. They just about managed that draw, didn't they, at Folkestone? Who was it? They were playing
Burgess Hill. Yeah.
Burgess Hill. Obviously, ex Hastings boy Ben Pope put 1-0 up Burgess Hill. And yeah, well, hopefully they turn it round, but never know. Well, anyway, John from Canvey. Good evening, sir.
Evening to you, Chris. Good to see you as always.
And obviously Rob from the mighty Horsham.
Evening all.
Good evening, sir.
Evening.
Evening. Right then, let's crack straight into it. Let's talk Sittingbourne first up. Now, as I remember, had we just about to be playing Whiteleaf, or had you just played them, Mark?
No.
Last time you were on.
No, we hadn't played them.
Yeah.
So I went to that. We had a great following there. It was a tough game. Whiteleaf are a really good team. Big, physically. They played nice football. We went one down. It looked a bit disjointed, but second half, just before the half time, we had a stonewall penalty not given. I've never seen the whole team run to the referee. Got a couple of yellow cards. The guy got a card for diving. I shouted rather loudly. So did my son at the linesman who was standing about 10 yards away.
Oh, giving him advice, were you?
Yeah, we gave a little bit of advice and a few hand signals and.
Okay.
And a few choice words, of course, because I don't normally get that aerated. I like to, although I follow my team, I like to be fair. If it's not I'm not going to shout penalty whenever all the people around us are shouting penalty when it's obviously not. But that was a stoner. So we come out invigorated in the second half, and our 44-year-old striker, 44, he scored 2 good goals. I mean, he is
age is but a number, mate.
Well, this is true, but even at this level, I mean, he doesn't stop running and he shoots the ball up well. To be fair, we got lucky because they had a couple of really good chances where they should have maybe nicked a draw, but we hang on. It's a great win. And then, call Saturday, Jersey come. First 25 minutes, we all over them, scored. Then just one chance. That's all. Make one mistake, and that's what happens. The guy, defender passed it back to the goal. He took a rotten touch, brought the player down, penalty, and then we just couldn't score after that. And they had 2 banks of 4, which is not my favourite way of watching a football game. Really, parking the bus. The last 30 minutes, and there was one of the most ridiculous things that you'll see on Twitter. It's actually there where. The defender had our player around the throat and didn't get sent off. It's actually on Twitter, so you can see it. It's clear as a bell. It's awful. But a draw I would say it was a fair result. It wasn't a good game. The pitch was a bit sticky. And of course, us supporters, we've won 9 and drawn 2 out of the last 11. We went home disappointed. You expect to be winning every week. Jersey were just behind us. I was a bit disappointed with them not to try because they're 6 points behind and played a game more. So I was a bit disappointed they didn't try a little bit more, make a game a bit open and, the best team win. I didn't
think much of Jersey when I went over there a few months back, 3-4 months back, and there's obviously a lot of bang average sides in our league.
Yeah, you're right.
I thought they were quite a physical side, but just did the sort of like the little 5%ers quite well. So I mean, obviously they beat Hastings at the time, but you know we're not the most difficult to play against, let's say. But yeah. So you would say, yeah, Jersey. Did they bring many?
No, there was only maybe 10 or 15, if that. You know, I've been to a few Jersey games where there's been a lot of the London-based support have come, and I don't think many of them actually do come over. I know
Well,
they
it's a
get a
bit of
good
a mission
support.
on them. It is a bit of a mission when it ain't the summer, but
Yeah,
they're a good
definitely. And
bunch that do come over.
yeah, I've seen, as I say, I saw them at Bay
Yeah.
early in the season, just as when we weren't playing, and they played some fantastic football. They got one real class player. He's the number 10. I can't remember his name. It's something like Italian sounding name. He really is. He's all left foot. And he plays on the right and just cuts inside. And I was shouting at because we kept trying to let him in on his left side. You know, a bit like Salah. You know, he plays on the right and he keeps cutting, and you know what he's going to do. And you just keep letting him do it. He didn't have the best of games. He had one shot that the goalie made a good save. You know, it was one of them days. We went home disappointed. You know, but that's the thing. You know, trying to get out of this division, as you know, we just missed out on last year. We missed out the year before in the playoffs, and you know we're falling behind Three Bridges, who just can't stop winning. Can't stop scoring, actually. And I fear it's going to be another playoff season again.
3 times the charm, though.
Yeah, that's what we were talking earlier. Someone said like third time lucky and all that. Yeah, I don't really want to go through it again because we've got the most horrendous record on penalties. I mean, it'll go all the distance and we'll lose on them. I think we've lost the last 4 or 5 penalty shootouts we've been in. We're worse than England, actually, for the penalty shootouts, and that's saying something. But I did have a chuckle to myself because I looked at the rest of as soon as I got out, I was watching the rest of the results. I was cheering you lot on at half time, seeing you 1-up, and then an audible gasp when I saw it was 4-1. I was like, oh.
No, it was coming. It was coming,
Was it?
mate. Yeah. But I'll talk about that when I get to it.
Yeah, you'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But that's how
I'm sure you're on tenterhooks to listen to that.
I
Hastings
cannot
getting hammered
wait
again.
to hear your description. But we got Broadbridge Eve down at Horsham. Hopefully the weather will be nice down there. It's quite a journey for us. We live in Ashford, but there's 5 of us going down on Saturday.
Didn't they just tonk East Grit? I mean, Broadbridge have been terrible. They lost like 7, 8 in a row.
Yeah.
And the miracle that is East Grinstead for turning teams' form round.
Yeah.
I think they spanked them 6-0.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's no indicator that Broadbridge are going to give you a game because, as I say, they've already lost the last 7 and East Grinstead are just, well, a pity.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of glad they're one of the teams hopefully will disappear. You know, I've been there every year for the last God knows how long, and it's not the best of places.
No.
You know, they just about avoid relegation most seasons, or they're just there and thereabouts in that position. Hopefully we'll get someone a bit better next year. That's saying hopefully we're not in that division. We come and play some of the big boys next year. But we've always got Hastings next year to look forward to, haven't we, if we don't make it? So
exactly. And don't say 6 points. Yeah.
Well, we've only got 4 off you so far this year. You know, which is 4 more than usual most years, if you remember. So
it's a season, a season to forget again.
Yeah.
So yes, it's 2 in a row now. But we had it good. I'm not going to argue. We had it good. Like it's like as you know, Rob from Horsham mentioned. You know, when they didn't have a ground. You know, you go through barren patches. You go through good times. You got to be there for your team, haven't you? I'm sure you have a Sittingbourne fan. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Talking of Horsham, we're normally notoriously bad travellers, but I've seen Horsham Lancing. We've played them and won there. Horsham YMCA. I think we've won 3 in a row against you away. I've seen us win at least 3 times. We wouldn't win now, of course. We'd get battered about 8-0. But it's actually one of the nice teams that we always used to beat. But back in the days when you didn't have a lovely ground like you got. But yes. Yeah, I'm hoping for 3 points again Saturday. If we draw again and get further behind, we're just going to be in there with Whiteleaf, and it's looking very much like it's those top 5. Obviously, Three Bridges going up, and the next 4, Jersey behind Margate. I don't think they're a lot, and I don't think there's anything else behind it. As you rightly said early on, the division's pretty poor, if the truth be known. You know, I'll let someone else tell me what their divisions are like. You know, some of the teams they've seen, but you know, I know it sounds silly. Over the last 2 years, I got used to winning. It's not a Sittingbourne thing. I used to love to go and enjoy. Yes, we've won. Now you're kind of expecting it every week.
He's sounding a bit Rob from Folkestone now, isn't he?
It is.
Here comes the run.
We
Here
haven't
go.
quite hit. We haven't hit his heights yet, but if they keep pinching ex-Sittingbourne players, then perhaps we might. They've got 2 now, so let's see if they go up. Let's see if Chatham can catch them.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I mean, I think if this slide carries on for another couple of games, I think Chatham will be with them, because Chatham are a good side, got some good players, got some money behind them, well-run club.
Very.
Like I said when Rob had that rant, and trying to talk, when we were in December, we were like 18 points behind Dover, and we finished like 15 in front of them. If you can put, you know, and that was going dumb. You know, it's not. We had a couple of games in hand because of the cup games, but it can be done. Like if you've got a team that are in form and just keep knocking the wins off, the teams above like Dover, and they start panicking. And start dropping points, and that is if they can get enough, I've kept an eye on it. If they can keep enough pressure on it, 6, 5, 6, 7 points, and try and and then it starts to get squeaky bum time, doesn't it? So it'd be quite interesting, but they've got to be there or thereabouts. I don't know when they play each other. I have no idea, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I know Folkestone have got mostly all home game stuff. I looked at their fixtures when I went to a couple of their games, and I think they had like 9 home games and about 5 away games. So really, if they blow it from there.
Yeah,
well, it will be a classic.
The stadium renovation, won't they?
Yeah. Well, I know it could be a beautiful thing, couldn't it? We could have the Rob meltdown live on air, the tears, the apologies.
That'd be t-shirts in the making.
Oh, bless him. He's not even here, and we're talking about him. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for that, Mark. Right. Let's go. Let's go from that, and let's go to John. Let's go to John now.
Yeah. Speaking of barren patches, Christ, I wish we had an intrinsic in our league.
So obviously, Lewis looked like a tight game, and obviously
Yeah.
What do you manage to get to any of them, or you got a little report on any of them, mate?
Well, obviously the Lewis one I did. I mean, yeah, obviously coming off the back of when we spoke last. I mean, I said this was going to be a crucial month for us where we got to turn up, and so far it's not exactly gone to plan. I mean, I think probably the biggest favour we've had is the fact that a couple of games have been called off. At least we've still got some fixtures in hand over other teams. But yeah, if we're not winning the ones that we're actually playing, then we're just digging ourselves into a deeper hole. Obviously, yeah, Lewis, game of 2 halves really. First half, I know we seem to play in little spells at times. We start the first 5-10 minutes really well, and then just completely took our foot off the gas. We were just, playing at an absolutely pedestrian pace and just allowing them so much room and time to carve out little chances, and you just knew a goal was coming the way we were playing. And yeah, eventually they managed to find a little bit of space, the back post, put one in, and that just left us chasing the game. And the second half, we picked up a lot. Obviously, just trying to drive forward, had a few chances, but ultimately at that point we left ourselves too much to do. Lewis, they weren't. They were a smart team. They just shut up shop a bit. They frustrated us in defence, and it just made it like a lot of huffing and puffing, really, just trying to get forward and get back into the game. And even a point, would have been a nice one against them. But yeah, that just put a lot of emphasis then on. Well, I mean, we were meant to have Chatham the following Tuesday, but again, postponement season at the moment, isn't it? With everything going on in the winter. But that obviously, brought us into that massive game against Welling, which was the point for both teams. And sadly, I wasn't at that one. Well, I say sadly, I ended up going West Ham away at Tottenham, so I ended up picking the right one in the end. Yeah, obviously I watched the highlights back, and obviously chatted to a few people, and even on, I think obviously they recorded the highlights of it, so you thought I might be quite biased in terms of things that they done in the game. But even from that, you could see we had quite a few chances, forced their keeper into a couple of saves, but just got again hit with another sort of sucker punch just before half time. We obviously brought a couple of new players in. One of them we brought in from Billericay on loan, Ben Stewart. He was good against Lewis, to be fair, and got himself a goal obviously got us back into the game against Welling. But yeah, had another sort of hatful of chances, couldn't capitalise, and then
Yeah, it was 1-1 till
Welling
about 20 minutes to go, wasn't it, John? About 20 minutes
about
to
that,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
shame.
yeah, about then. Yeah, I mean, I sort of see we went 2-1 down and then looked at the end and it's 3-1. But yeah, I sort of watched the goals back. I think they were maybe a little bit fortuitous with their second. It took a sort of mean deflection and
Oh, it's always the way
yeah,
when you're down there, though, isn't it?
it's
You
always
just
the
get
way.
no bloody luck.
Luck just doesn't go your way. And then yeah, obviously getting a third late on, they wrapped it up. So that's 6 points dropped to Welling, who have been down there for most of the season, which can't win them games around us for some reason. It's no good turning up against teams like you. I know you Billericay's or other playoff chasers, things like that, if you can't be beating the teams directly around you. Because not only are we conceding points and putting ourselves in a worse position, we're allowing them to prop themselves up. So again, as I say, I mean, it could have been a worse situation. Obviously, we maybe had the other games, or it could have been a better situation. But it just puts a hell of a lot of pressure on us now going into the next few. I mean, we've
You got
got to start
Whitehawk,
winning.
can you? Got Whitehawk
We
next
got
game.
Whitehawk away Saturday, and even if we have beaten them a couple of times already this season, I'm not taking anything away from them. They got a really good result against St Albans at the weekend.
Well, they nearly
So
threw it. Well, I
yeah,
still they were
they
3-0 up.
really
I
did.
thought, it's easy
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
then 3-3.
That's it, yeah, a bit of a thriller, but obviously they must have a
5-3 in the
penchant
end.
for scoring goal somewhere. And then obviously, yeah, the week after that, we've got that other one of those games that is pretty much a 6-pointer against Potters Bar. If we don't win these games now, we're in real trouble. And I think it's just starting to become more and more evident, really. I think if we can't pick up these results, I mean, I think we've touched upon it before, Chris. You were saying about last season where we kind of got away with it a bit by the skin of our teeth because we might have had a few sides who were slightly worse off.
Well,
I
yeah.
think we're just not getting that.
We gave you
We're
some
not getting
points, mate. That's what it was.
that's it, exactly. Yeah, yeah, we're just not getting that sort of favour at the moment. Really, we're the team that's giving away points, and yeah, again, I think it's hard for them sort of getting that cohesion. I mean, you can tell from watching them, there's no lacking in effort, but yeah, I don't know whether we're being caught out of inexperience or what seems to be a rotating team at times. I mean, we've lost a couple of players who were quite good for us. Obviously, we lost one boy to like full-time football in Scotland. He's one of our left back, I think, Joe Halsey, his name is, and he was actually coming on really well. Like he probably had the best game I'd seen him play for us against Billericay, and then had gone for the next game, getting a full-time contract. I suppose he can't turn that down. And then I touched on another attacker I was hoping we were going to get back, a boy called Louis Remy, and it turns out he's dropped down the division. So we can't actually tell who's going to be starting for us most weeks at the moment. We're bringing in these other players to prop up positions, but it's giving them time now to integrate into the team, and we don't have that time. It's got to be all action now.
It's shit or bust now, isn't it? Really. I mean, you got these next two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not over. It's never. It's not over yet, but.
It's not. I mean, I don't want to rule us out altogether, but like I say, just particularly when we are losing them ones to the teams around us, and obviously seeing other teams around us getting results. I mean, Potters Bar picked up a win at the weekend. I think I know #United managed to draw. Chesson, who had been falling into it, managed to get a win away at Dulwich. So just nothing is going right for us at the moment. So we can only really live off our own sort of acumen, really, our own luck. We got to start winning games. That's the long and short of it, really. If we don't, then we're just falling through the trapdoor quicker and quicker. So these are vital games coming up now. I mean, even though like a couple of ones after that, I mean, we got it seems to be third time the charm now. Actually, we do actually get Chichester home eventually, but then we got Wingate, who seem to have fallen into it a little bit as well away. So yeah, they're big games now, and we need someone really on the pitch, a couple of the boys really, just to kind of step up, be leaders, and just pull us through it. Because now, it's looking a bit tetchy down there. It's getting squeaky bum time.
Well, let's cheer this up even more. Let's talk about Hastings. Let's talk about Hastings before we talk about Horsham. I think we're safe this year. I think we're beating people around us. When we're playing anyone with a bit of quality. Up the top, we're getting very much caught out because we don't really have that much to play for. Just going to the games we did win. We beat VCD at their place 3-0. Freddie Legg, who's been our captain this year, who's someone I I didn't think would stick around, to be fair. Out of the ones that left, he stuck around. He's captain. Scored a cracker. Got another player, Jordan Mays, who we got from lower leagues, up step 6 sort of sides. Got a couple. We thought it was 1-0 first half. Held on and managed to get a couple of late goals, which has not been our way. Usually we don't hold on. We like to give people goals. We've got some players in the go. A fella called Damien Theodore, who's from Gillingham, season-long loan, bags of potential, quick, got some tricks, managed to ghost in and was just too good for VCD. They brought him down, penalty. Jordan Mace steps up, makes it 2-0, and then the game's done. We make it 3-0. Nice, comfortable, lovely 3 points away from home. Played all right. Then we go on to Croydon, who are obviously fighting to catch Three Bridges. I don't think they will. I think Three Bridges are going to win this. But I said to the boys, I couldn't make the game. I was at work, but I listened on radio. And some of the lads sent me some texts, to sort of kind of fill us in, because the radio never fills you in completely. I said, early doors, I said, we can not concede early. Cheeky little set piece, 1-0. I'll have that. Thank you. Well, we managed that. But second half, we couldn't manage to keep them out. They destroyed the second half. Could have been more. They're obviously playing with the confidence of a side that's fighting for promotion, and we're still a bit patchy defensively. There's a lot of players we've brought in that we're trying out really to see if they're up to scratch. And to do that mid-season, you're going to have games where you can pull that off against the lesser sides, but against a side that pay decent money and are going to be fighting at least playoffs. Can't do that. They're gonna. They've got a player that used to be at us, Reece Grant. Do you remember Reece Grant? You probably don't remember Reece Grant. He played for us last season. Second half, couldn't hit a barn door forward. Couldn't hit a barn door, but 110% effort. Is managing to score for Croydon, but also his hustle is creating a lot of options for other players, and they're good for second place. To be fair, they're a team full of goals. And after all that, we've got Crowborough. This Tuesday I can't make because I'm on nights, but a big game. I think I'm confident we'll turn it round. I think we've got enough in the side to beat the lesser teams, particularly at our place. I certainly hope that's going to happen anyway. And I think we have got that little bit of quality that would unlock, as I say, the lesser teams. This season is done. I'm just can't wait for us to get to your magic 50 points, so that we don't need to worry anything at all about relegation. I never thought I'd say that, but what we're on 31 points. Erith have got 3 games in hand and they're on 22. So there's still the potential of being pulled in, no matter if we like it or not. But I think we got enough to get ourselves out of it, and then we just look to playing Sittingbourne again next season.
Give us another 4 points,
or maybe not,
or maybe 6.
Hey, we might take some point. Yeah, we might take a few off you. You never know. Well, listen, let's end it on a higher note than us moaning about our. Well, not that you were moaning about your team, Mark. Of course, the mighty Sittingbourne. But let's talk to Horsham, and let's say just in the league, a solid January. I mean, you must be disappointed because I know you Horsham fans are greedy for success. That the Sussex Cup again, Three Bridges, loss on penalties, but some solid results. A bumper crowd at Worthing. It's good times being a Horsham fan at the minute.
Yeah, it's been good times, like I say, for the last few years, to be fair. We touched on it earlier with being homeless and things can turn around pretty quickly. Even when we've moved into the new ground since in the last 5 or 6 years, it's been, progression year on. So yeah, back to, I think the last podcast we're just beating Eastbourne away 2-0. So that was a needed win after a, festive kind of congestion with fixtures, and we played all right. We've never been outplayed, but we needed those 3 points. We did that, and then went on to Leatherhead in the FA Trophy, and we're 2-0 down after 25 minutes. They came out flying, which you expect. A lower league team. They knocked out Hampton and Richmond, so you knew it was going to be a tough game. And then in the second half, we, Reese and Murphy, and we all turned it around and won 3-2. It was just Leatherhead just couldn't keep the energies up. It's a bit like sometimes the teams that we come against, full-time teams, they sort of hit the same sort of juggernaut. We looked pretty much. I've compared it recently to sort of, like when you see a car running out of petrol on the motorway and someone's pushing it or it's just trying to drag itself up to a petrol station. You can see that with the boys now because we're having to play them week in, week out, even with some knocks. But yeah, so that was good to get through the FA Trophy. Then we drew Scunthorpe, which is a big away day, so that will be good at the end of the month. So another good big team to play. So we'll go and enjoy that. And then we had Three Bridges. I know Mark and you guys have mentioned it. You can see why they're top. They look a decent outfit. Their midfield sort of outran ours, outplayed it. It was like a mirror game. It was a pretty crappy game, to be fair. It was very there wasn't a lot. The goalkeepers didn't do it, and to be honest with you, the penalty shootout on our end probably summed up the game. Hamo smashing it over the bar. If a penalty ever summed up a game, that was it. And look, you can be disappointed for the first, walking out the ground, you're like, oh, for God's sake, but then you just realise you've won it back to back. So, and I hope they go and win it, to be fair. They're a decent club, decent people, and I hope they do well in it and do well in the league. There's, not a bad word about them. They can see why that fella up, is it Leighton up front, they're number 9. You can see, obviously, he played at Hampton, I think, this year or the year before, and they got him from Tunbridge, I think it was. So, look, they're going to be a decent team and wouldn't be surprised if they get automatic promotion. And then, onto Worthing. I think we took about, 550, 600. We sold out the whole away allocation. And I don't think there would have been one person that would have thought we got a result out of that game.
Worthing are on a flyer as well.
And they've just signed a fella from Watford, I think, and a fella from Wealdstone, a striker. We're missing still Hester Cook, who's on, straight into the 11, Lee Harding. So we're missing some players. So there wouldn't have been one fan. We all met up in the pub beforehand and no one gave us a hope. We had more people were optimistic when we played Barnsley away to score a goal, let alone, get anything out of it. And look, Worthing turned up and in the first, 10, 15 minutes, we couldn't get the ball off them. We were like, here we go. But we grew into the game. I call it a proper old Lardy day. We didn't shut up from minute 1 to 90. That helped. That contributed. Made a right old racket. Just got behind the boys, and because they needed it, they were blowing. So you need to get behind them. And look, we had 2 opportunities in the first half, cleared off the line. Then the second half it was 0-0. The second half they came out and they scored, and you think, right, here we go. And then literally, I think within a couple of minutes we equalised. So it looked, the boys can do, turn it up, and both teams could have got on to win it. You could probably sit here and go, Worthing probably deserved to win it, but I thought it was outstanding, to be fair, how we got a point out of that, and it just shows you what these boys can do. They just empty the tank every game. You can be disappointed at times, and you've got to sort of remember where we are with pretty much the same sort of squad that we've got with the same 14 players. So we've got injuries massive at the moment. Brought a new player, Sol Kadir, in, and he got injured on the training session. So we're just going through a little bit of a bad spell with injuries that we haven't had, like we keep mentioning on here, the last few years. We've been able to keep that core players fit for a long time. And I think it's just the intensity of the league above, it's been, it was good. It was good to get that point. And then, we got Chelmsford and then obviously Scunthorpe at the end of the month. So, we'll see where we are. Like I say, you mentioned your 50 points. I think the whole club, still looking at that 50. And then I think you might find the handbrake might come off a little bit and they sort of go after safety, because I think we should be all right by now. But, I think the whole club.
You're all right by now. There's no.
Yeah, I think so. But the club have built into them that 50 points was the mark they wanted to get. So I think once they get to there, and it'd be good that we can start them building for next season, because the last few years we've either been in the playoffs, lost on penalties, or been in the playoff, or got up late. So we can start planning for the year ahead. So I think we haven't had that opportunity to do so for a long time. So it'd be interesting to see this summer as well. But I think the back end of this season we're going to enjoy it with Torquay away and.
You've got some great away days, haven't you?
Yeah, there's brilliant away days. There's some great grounds. There's some crap grounds as well. There's some shocking ones, but we're
any worth mentioning? Any ones to avoid?
That's the Chippenham's down there. Bath is pretty much as dated.
Really?
Bath is as dated as Bath itself. It's the first thing you see when you come through the turnstiles, a Portaloo from the 1930s. It's it's not. It's beautiful. Rusty. It's run down. But it's one of those ones where you quite enjoy it because it is like a throwback.
Vintage.
Chippenham was probably the worst, but it's been eventful. I've already booked up the Friday to the Sunday for Torquay, so that'd be a good away day. I say Scunthorpe. So look, that's the enjoyment. You just got to go and enjoy it, and we're in that position where we can, and we can have a whinge and a moan, and like I say, after the Sussex Senior Cup, you think, okay, you know, how can you be disappointed with a team that's won it back to back? So that's, you know, it's still hurts. It's, you know, still would be nice to get to the Amex. But the first thing I thought when I walked out of the ground on Tuesday night, I was like, well, that saved me some money for that finals day, because the last few final days it's cost me a fair few bob. So I think the missus will be happy. But yeah, no, it's been a really good. No one expected us to be where we are, to be fair, and it just shows you the level of, you know, Sussex football in general. You got teams up there, you know, in all leagues, you know, across the board. So it's pretty decent to see. So yeah, it's been very enjoyable.
Well, for some of us, Sussex teams, it's been very enjoyable. No, yeah, oh yeah.
You'll have your time again in the sunlight.
I'm sure. Can I have that in writing, please, Rob?
Yeah, you can have it in text that you can try and find on a podcast.
Sunny day.
Yeah. You owe us points. You do, Canvey, but we'll meet again one day, won't we, John?
Somewhere, mate.
Yeah, somewhere. Thank you very much, lads. Obviously, wish you all the best with your sides and results wise. As I say, see you at the game, and please join us for the 150th, which will be in a few weeks. So
Definitely.
take care, lads.
Cheers. Take care. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys.
Bye. Bye.